Hey, what's going on, world? It's me again, Ethan Smith, aka Mr. P.I.E.N. Another daily dose positive post, man. The third session of the Mr. P.I.E.N. show. I like to call this one expression sessions. Expression sessions. That's what we're gonna call this show. This is the show where you get to call in or you get to type in the message and express yourself with Mr. P.I.E.N. about what you feel or how you feel. And today I want to talk to you about something near and dear to my heart, man. We're gonna talk about comparison and competition. Comparison and competition. Show up to blow up. So let's get into this, man. What is comparison? And why do you compare yourself to other individuals? Comparison is the act or instance of comparing. And most of you might be saying, okay, the act of instance of comparing what? Comparing yourself to others. Comparing what you have to what other people may have. Comparing Webster's dictionary clearly says it's the estimate of measure or note the similarity or dissimilarity between individuals. Here's my question for you. Most of the time when people compare themselves, we never compare ourselves to someone that we feel has less than what we have. So why is it that we only compare ourselves to individuals we believe have more than us, or that we think that's doing better than us, or more well off than we are? And I get it. I know some people say they're striving to do better. They're striving to have more. They hope to have more, so they look at the people that's doing better than them. Excuse me. And that's cool if you're using those people for inspiration. But if you're using those people for comparison, then that's the wrong thing to do. That's the wrong thing to do. Psychologist Leon Festinger stated, "We make comparisons as a way of evaluating ourselves compared to others." Psychologist Leon Festinger said, "We make comparisons as a way of evaluating ourselves compared to others." But why do we do that? That's my question. Why do we compare? Why do we believe that individuals that have more than what we have, that has better houses than we have or a better car than what we have, what makes you believe that they're actually doing better than you? What makes you believe that someone that's in a 4,000 square foot home or someone that's driving a Mercedes-Benz or a BMW, what makes you believe that they're doing better than you? And why would you compare yourself to them? Sometimes all the time, we need to be happy with our lives. So today we're going to spend a little time talking about comparison, about 20 or 30 minutes, man. Please share this video with somebody. Give me a thumbs up, thumbs down. Shoot me a comment, and I will happily reply to your comment right here, live on this Facebook, this Instagram, this YouTube. We streaming on 3 different sites right now. We don't have time to compare ourselves to what other speakers are doing or other people, influencers are doing. We have to start where we at and do what works best for us. And the same goes for you. You have to start where you at and do what works best for you. Stop comparing yourself to other individuals. As humans, we have this thing of looking to be perfect for other imperfect individuals. Nobody on this earth is perfect. So stop comparing yourself to what you think someone has and focus on what you have and what you want more of. Earlier today when I was looking up comparison and competition, and I knew I wanted to speak on it. I'm a spiritual person, so I checked out something in my Bible and actually said, what does the Bible say about comparison? And as I was thumbing through my Bible and I was looking things up, I came to the passage in Galatians. Galatians 6:4-5 says, "Be sure to do what you should, for then you will enjoy the personal satisfaction of having done your work well, and you won't need to compare yourself to anyone else, for we are responsible for our own conduct." I'm going to read that again to make sure you got it. Be sure to do what you should, for then you will enjoy the personal satisfaction of having done your work well, and you won't need to compare yourself to anyone else. For we are each responsible for our own conduct. Be sure to do your work well so you won't have to compare yourself to anyone else. We are all responsible for our own conduct. So looking at your next door neighbor with the what is the S class Benz, the 700, the 760 Li BMW, looking at them not gonna help you get there. Looking at them is not gonna promote you to get to what you say you want. The only thing that's gonna promote you to getting what you say you want is to stop comparing yourself to others, man. You gotta learn how to JBY. Man, you gotta JBY. You gotta activate your greatness. You gotta activate your greatness in order for you to get the things that you say you want in life. Comparison is the thief of all joy. Teddy Roosevelt said comparison is the thief of all joy. The moment you begin to compare yourself to what someone else has, that is the moment you start to sabotage your own greatness. The moment we begin to compare ourselves to what someone else has, that is the moment we begin to sabotage our own greatness. Why would you do that to yourself? How can you say you truly love yourself if you're constantly measuring your life by someone else's life? Don't let these people on social media fool you like they have it all together and everything is great. You see me sitting here on this camera and I'm energetic, I'm happy, I'm excited, but don't get it twisted. I have problems too. I have things that bothers me as well, but I don't let those things stop me. I usually compare myself to the speaker Eric Thomas, my favorite speaker. I would used to say I love hearing his message, but love is a powerful word. I don't love hearing his message. I admire hearing his message. I usually compare myself to where he is right now and what he's doing. And I had to understand that my life isn't Eric Thomas' life. Eric Thomas' life isn't Tony Robbins' life. Tony Robbins' life isn't Les Brown's life. The greats, the ones that's really doing it and are successful at what they have, they're not comparing themselves to anyone else. Teddy Roosevelt said it, comparison is the thief of all joy. I have a few quotes I want to share with you on comparison. Comparison is an act of violence against oneself. Ayala Van Zandt. Comparison is an act of violence against oneself. So what you're saying, what that means to me or what it says to me, when I compare what I have to someone else, I'm actually sabotaging my growth. I'm actually doing bodily harm to myself. How can you say that you want to be great? How can you say that you want to be a doctor, you want to be a lawyer, you want to be a successful husband or a happy wife when you're comparing yourself to the next door neighbor situation when you have no clue really what the next door neighbor is doing? I mean, let's just be real. Nobody's telling you all their business. When they on social media, oh my God, social media. Let me talk about that on comparison. Social media, right? We get on social media and everybody posts their social media Instagram life. Everybody's doing good, everybody's looking good, everybody's smiling. All the women are, I guess, snatched, that's what they call it or something like that. The guys got the nice haircut, beard trimmed up, they good and in shape, and you start comparing yourself to those people thinking that, man, my life sucks. I gotta do more. You start comparing yourself to those people thinking, my life sucks. I have to do more. T. Brazier, I thank you, brother. I appreciate it. That is true, and those are facts, man. That's just my real talk. I remember when I first got on social media, and I would see these people with these nice houses and these nice cars, and I'm 30 plus years old. I'm like, yo, what am I doing? Like, what am I doing? I'm missing the mark. Forget the fact that I had a wife that loved me. Forget the fact that I had children that loved me. I was so busy focused on my homeboy who had a nice car or my homegirl who had a nice house, and what I didn't have, I wanted to compare myself to them. Missing everything that you have right there in front of you. Going back to social media. You get on these people page and they got the new Christian Louis Vuittons. They got the Herman's belt on. I don't know, bro. I still go to Walmart and Goodwill sometimes. I'm old enough to understand I don't got to be fresh for other people. I don't have to compare what you wear to what I'm wearing. Time stamp. I don't have to compare what I'm wearing to what you wearing. I go and I get what's for me, what works for me. So you get on social media. You look at the girl who looks like she's been in the gym and you start comparing yourself, missing the fact that the girl that's on there is probably edited, cropped. What's that other thing you do on social media with your videos? The filters.
Filter,
You
yeah.
put the filters on, you got the dog face, the cat eyes, and you doing all this stuff that hide who you truly are to show yourself to people as you're perfect. No one's perfect. Stop comparing yourself in life to these imperfect people. Start comparing yourself to the person that's in the mirror because that's the only person you have to prove something to, is the person in the mirror. Social media will have you thinking that you're not enough based on what someone's posting on their social sites. Social media will have you thinking that your family that you have is not enough based on photos and pictures you see of someone else's family. Look, man, all that stuff can be cropped, edited, and made up. But you clearly heard what I read in the Bible. It's your responsibility. Your success, your happiness, you need to do well with your work and be happy with your work. If you're not happy with your work and your success, then you stand to fail. When I played football when I was in high school, I used to compare myself to other running backs. We had this one kid, one gentleman, Aaron, he was good. And they had another guy, Rico Sweets, he was real good. They used to call me Skillet, because you can tell by my complexion, I was dark like a frying pan. So they called me Skillet. And I was pretty decent as a running back, but I had a fumbling problem. That is very true. I had a fumbling problem, but I would compare my talent to what else they did instead of focusing on who I am and what I brought to the table. When you think about comparison, you think about sports pretty often. Most of the time when I'm watching ESPN or something like that, you often still hear this comparison and this conversation about who's better, LeBron James or Michael Jordan. Who's better, LeBron James or Michael Jordan? So I started doing a little research. I'm not a huge basketball fan. I'm more of a sports guy. I mean football guy, but I do watch basketball. Michael Jordan was 6'6", 216 pounds. Played shooting guard. LeBron James is 6'8", 250 pounds. Came into the NBA as a power forward, played small forward. Now in this time of his career, he plays just about any position on the basketball court that he chooses to play. But these sports anchors or these sports analysis or these sports experts, these basketball experts, they continuously compare who's the greatest, Michael Jordan or LeBron James. How do you compare two individuals that played in a totally different era? That's like comparing apples to oranges. That's like comparing apples to oranges. Michael Jordan came in the league in 1984, if I'm not mistaken. 1984 to 2003. He retired 2 times during that time frame. I don't know about you, I'm 42 years old. I remember the bad boy Pistons. And I remember when the Jordan rules was created. And the Jordan rules was simple. Anybody else on the Bulls could score, but Michael Jordan wouldn't score. Every time he came to the lane, it was almost demanded of the team that he must hit the floor. He must hit the floor. So the era that Michael Jordan played in, you couldn't even compare to the era that LeBron James came into. Back then, knocking somebody on the ground wasn't a flagrant foul. That was a regular foul. Now, if you hand check a guy too hard, that could be a flagrant one and get you out of the game. So how can we compare these two great athletes? How come we can't just let LeBron James be LeBron James? Somebody tell me that. Please tell me why do we think it's so important to compare ourselves to another individual? Like last time that I checked, when brains was created and everybody got a brain when they was born, I don't think God was like making different brains. Like this is an Adidas brain, this is a Nike brain. You know, you got the GM, you got the Ford brain. No, everybody got the same brain. Everybody get 24 hours in a day. Everybody is on the same playing field. Until you do something with the time that you are giving, until you do something with the time that you are giving, then your life won't change. You can compare yourself to everybody. We compare ourselves to our parents. We compare ourselves, unfortunately, to our children sometimes. But you won't have anything until you start comparing yourself and competing with yourself. Because yourself is the only one that truly matters. Yourself is the only one that's truly important. Comparison is the thief of all joy. It's an act of violence against yourself. Hey, Hedger, what's going on, man? One of my old guys, my first driver from my unit, 2006 in Iraq. What's going on, Hedger? Again, back to these sports comparisons. Michael Jordan, LeBron James. Two different positions. Two different positions that they played. Height, weight, totally different. Eras of basketball, completely different. How can you dare compare the greatness of Michael Jordan to the greatness of LeBron James? Now, me personally, I'm a Jordan fan because I grew up in the Jordan era. And if I wanted to really take it to comparison, I always ask myself, how can they just skip over Kobe Bryant and go straight to LeBron James? If you're going to compare anybody, compare Kobe Bryant to Michael Jordan. Kobe had most of Michael moves, same height, same position. If you're going to compare anybody, compare that. Other than that, there's no need for comparison. You shouldn't be comparing yourself to your next door neighbor. And here's the kicker. We compare ourselves to somebody that's like 5% better than we are in life or with the things they have. Like, how much sense does that make? You comparing yourself to somebody that has maybe 5% more of what you have. Man, you got JBY. If you're not confident in who you are, no matter what you do, you'll never be successful. Confidence beats competition any day. Comparison is the thief of all joy. It's actually violence against yourself. There's no need to talk about Michael Jordan and LeBron James no more. There's no need to talk about you and your best friend and what he has and what you don't have. The minute you get wrapped up in comparing yourself to other people is the minute you start to lose focus on the dreams, the visions, and the aspirations that you say you have for your life. I said I wanted to be a speaker. How dare I continue to get on this YouTube channel, this Facebook, and compare myself to what Eric Thomas does? You know what I started doing to myself when I would compare myself too much? I would find someone like Eric Thomas, someone like Inky Johnson, or this guy named, this rapper named Vo, and I would watch their videos, and I would start comparing their views, their likes, and their comments compared to what I'm not getting. But one day something said to me, my spirit spoke to me and was like, yo, my spirit was like, yo, go back and see where they were at in the beginning. So when you go back to see where a person actually started out at, what they're doing in the beginning, they're probably at the same place as you. You're comparing someone else's middle or someone else's end to your beginning. You're comparing someone else's middle or someone else's end to your beginning. And what does comparison do for you? Nothing positive. Comparison does nothing positive for you at all. Man, you got JBY. Show up. According to our article posted in Psychology Today, why comparison is wrong or what it actually does. Other so-called perfection is illusion. Going back to what I said on social media, on Instagram, Facebook. People only post the happy times. That's an illusion. That's not real. Everyone has problems or things that they deal with that's uncomfortable. So why compare yourself to the illusion that they're putting up on social media? The next thing that comparing yourself does for you, life isn't fair, man. Some people are taller than you, so how you gonna compare yourself to somebody 6'6" and you 5'7" like me? They supposed to be able to dunk. Hopefully they can dunk. You comparing yourself to the kid that was homeschooled and not raised in the public school system and feeling like he's smarter than you. But you don't know how many hours of work that kid put in. You in the public school, you only getting the 4 to 6 hours of work that the teacher wanted to give out. Comparison is the thief of all joy. The third and final thing is comparison. It turns friends and allies into rivals. Ooh. How is that even possible that your friend and your allies can become a rival by comparison? Simple. They have something that you don't have, you start to feel less than, or you have something that they don't have, they start to feel less than, and a J word creeps in, jealousy. Then you got envy, and you constantly comparing yourself to individuals that you know nothing about. Comparison is the thief of all joy. Author Sam Hawthorne said, don't compare your life to others. You have no idea what they've been through. Don't compare your life to others. You have no idea what they've been through. Friends know me. People know me from when I was in elementary school. People know me from middle school. People know me from high school. And they think they know your life. They think they know everything about you. But people only know what you tell them. And the minute somebody start comparing what you have to what they have is the minute that they actually lose out in life. The minute you start comparing yourself to what someone else has is the minute you lose out in life. And here's the thing about comparison. When you hear about comparison on a large scale, it's never that personal individual talking about it. My point, LeBron James and Michael Jordan, you never see them get on ESPN and compare themselves to one another. They reply to the questions that the talking heads have, talking heads being the sports analysts. They reply to something they might say. Kobe Bryant doesn't talk about how he's competing with or comparing himself to Vince Carter or Tracy McGrady. Kobe Bryant's mission was to just outwork anybody that was in the gym. How do you do that? He got up at 4 a.m. and like I said before, he go in the gym, he put up 2,000, 3,000 shots, 10,000 shots sometimes. You don't have time to compare yourself with others when you working on bettering yourself. Timestamp. You don't have time to compare yourself to others when you're working on bettering yourself. What do you really want in life? How do you really believe you can have it? Because you won't get it by comparing yourself to others. You got to learn how to AYG, man. You got to learn how to activate your own greatness. You got to learn how to PSP, man. You got to learn how to promote yourself. You got to learn how to sell yourself to yourself and push yourself to be the best version of you. You got to believe in you and all that you do and all that you go through. You got to know that when you get up out of the bed in the morning, that the greatness what's inside of you is going to bleed outside of you. You got to know that the only competition and the only comparison you need to be making is the man in the mirror. Timestamp. The only comparison and competition you need to be having is the man in the mirror. Or as I like to say, or I tell myself, run your race at your own pace. Because when you run your race at your own pace, you always come in first place. Show up to blow up. Ain't no comparison in that. Ain't no competition in that. You think about the greats like Floyd Mayweather, and you look at his interviews, and they ask him, what do you think about the other fighter? How do you compare to the other fighter? He said, I don't compare myself to no other fighter. I focus on what I need to do. I watch me. When you doing what you need to do, when you focus on who you are and who you need to become, there is no comparison. You are created as one unique individual. There's no other like you. I don't care if you have an identical twin. Man, you got a fraternal, paternal. I don't care if you have triplets. They are all not the same. They won't all turn out to be the same. For my parents out there, you have 2, 3, 4 kids, and you raise them all in the same house, and you compare what I usually compare what my daughter Tradesa did to what my son does in high school, my son does in middle school. Unfair, completely unfair. Two totally different individuals, and they look at life totally different. But they both successful in school. So how dare I compare one individual to another? How dare you compare yourself, your personal gifts, your personal talents, your personal beliefs? You compare that to the gentleman next to you? You compare that to the woman next to you? You compare your physique and your body to the people you saw on social media? Quit playing. Quit playing with me. We don't have time for that. Life is short. And you shortening your life and you shortening your time by comparing yourself to someone else. I'm not saying you're going to speed up your time to death. But what you are doing, you missing the moment that you have in life. Ooh, that was good. I like that timestamp. I'm not saying that you're going to speed up your time to death. But you shortening your time in life when you compare yourself to someone else. How you ask? Because you're so busy watching. I'm so busy watching my buddy Thomas and what he's doing in his house and how he cuts and scratches on the turntables. Like I should just be able to do that, and I've never cut or scratched on a turntable. You comparing yourself to the Instagram model who's on there with the six-pack abs, but you never went to the gym and worked out. You comparing yourself to your next door neighbor who's got the 750 BMW in the driveway. You don't know if you're struggling or not. Man, but you're not happy with the Hyundai that you have. You're not happy with the Kia you have. You're not happy with the Dodge Charger, the Dodge Challenger. You comparing what you have to what they have instead of being thankful and grateful for what you got. Don't do that to yourself. Don't shorten the time that you have here in this life by focusing on someone else's life. Please, people, share this video. Somebody need to hear this. Comparison is the thief of all joy. We all know what a thief is. That's someone that steals something from you. And we all hate to have something stolen from us, no matter how small or how large it is. No one wants to have anything stolen from them. So why would you automatically, why would you consciously give it away? Why would you steal your joy from yourself by comparing yourself to what someone else has? And you don't even know how good they got it. You don't know if the dude with the 750 Li in the driveway is struggling. You don't know if the wife with the 4-carat ring on is at home getting beat. You don't know if the kids that's wearing Jordans, and I don't even know what's popular nowadays, like what they wearing for clothes. True religion, I don't have a clue. But you don't even.
That Forever 21.
Forever 21? Yeah, like y'all heard me earlier. I go to the Goodwill sometimes, and I go to the Walmart.
Hey, they still got good deals at Goodwill.
Or I'm rocking the official Mr. P.I.E.N brand. Yeah,
That's
we can get you some. www.mrpien.wordpress.com. You can go on and order your shirts, hats, hoodies. Time now. Stop comparing yourself to everyone else and just JBY that thing.
That's right.
Just be you.
Another thing is we got coming too. We're gonna invest into a press. So when we get that press, you got your favorite hat you've been wearing for years, but you want a little logo on it. You want to get it pressed. Well, let's slap on that Mr. P.I.E.N on the side of that hat and get it going.
Absolutely. Absolutely. In order to move forward, you got to make progress. I said it earlier. This is our third taping of the Mr. P.I.E.N show. What's officially going to be called Expression Sessions with Mr. P.I.E.N, where you just get to type in and you get to express yourself. Like NWA, express yourself, express with your full capabilities. Hear me out on this. Stop comparing yourself to other imperfect people in this world. You're looking to be perfect for another imperfect individual. That doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense at all. Promote yourself. Push yourself. Sell yourself the greatness that lies within you. PSP this thing called life, man. Promote yourself to yourself. Sell yourself how great you are. Push yourself to get everything that you say that you want. You won't get what you say you want when you continue to compare yourself to everyone else. This thing called life ain't no joke. You only get one of these. You don't owe nobody nothing. You out here playing games, comparing your car, comparing your clothes, comparing what your kids have, their relationship to what you got. You tripping. Stop it. You cheating on yourself. That's the real definition of infidelity. Cheating. You cheating on yourself though. Comparison is the thief of all joy. Comparison kills creativity. Stop comparing and start creating. Creating what? Create the life that you want to live. Man, you got JBY. Create the family that you want to have. Push yourself to be the best version of you. AYG, man, activate your greatness. I'm going to go over this with you one more time. Comparison is the thief of all joy. The minute you begin to compare yourself to others is the minute you begin to shorten the time on your life. No, I'm not saying that you're going to die any sooner. What I'm saying is life's going to seem a lot shorter because you're not going to know who you are in life because you're busy watching everybody else's life trying to figure out how they get that. Time stamp, right on key. He got it to blow up. Don't do it to yourself. Comparison kills creativity. Stop comparing yourself and start creating the life that you say you want to live. It's your boy Ethan Smith, aka Mr. P.I.E.N, man. We're going to take a short pause and I'll be back with part 2. Competition. Only competition you should have is yourself. I'm out. Man, you got the JBY. Show up, blow up. Promote yourself. Sell yourself. Gee, you got to activate your greatness.